it normal that President Trump is asking for Ukraine's minerals to pay back US military aid? Well, no one knows what's normal anymore. And while the US has never asked a country to retroactively pay back military aid with profits from their resources, the US has previously asked for access to a country's resources in exchange for security arrangements. Let's walk it back. As you know, Trump campaigned on eliminating aid to Ukraine, and when he got to office, he proposed a deal asking for $500 billion worth of Ukraine's minerals to pay back US military aid so far and/or pay for future aid. Honestly, Trump gets these numbers wrong a lot, so it's a bit confusing. We've given $1 bajillion. I think it's something like $1 gazillion. I don't know how much it is, but it's a humongous amount. Here are the facts. Congress has appropriated a total amount of $174 billion in aid to Ukraine since Russia invaded in February 2022 and started this war. That figure includes money to restock US weapons and support Ukrainian refugees. So if you take that out, then the US has granted nearly $120 billion in aid to Ukraine so far. That includes $66 billion in military aid and $54 billion in non-military aid. Europe has given a total of $138 billion in aid to Ukraine in the same time period, 65% of which was given as grants and the rest as concessional loans to be paid back by Ukraine. Last October, before Trump was even elected, Zelensky presented a victory plan where he called for increased security support in exchange for access to Ukraine's mineral resources. This is an important point because this idea didn't come out of Trump's. Now, Zelensky probably didn't expect Trump to ask for $500 billion or that the deal might not come with security arrangements. But don't forget that Trump is a maximalist negotiator, meaning he throws out the most maximum scenario knowing he's likely not going to achieve it. Meanwhile, Russian President Putin tried to step in and offer the US access to minerals in Ukrainian territory under Russian control. Cute. Yes? No? Now, Zelensky and Trump have reached a deal on the minerals, and we don't know all the terms, but they'll be signing it on Friday, February 28th. So the question is, have we ever done this before? Well, yes and no. During the Cold War, the US offered security to Saudi Arabia in exchange for its oil resources, an arrangement that continues to this day. In the Philippines, the US built military bases and got access to the country's sugar plantations in exchange for security. In Libya, the US provided security in exchange for access to rubber plantations. In Djibouti, the US operates its largest military base in Africa, sitting strategically on the Red Sea, also in exchange for security arrangements. And the US also holds the oil in northeastern Syria, but that's so that it doesn't fall into the wrong hands, mainly ISIS. Is it ugly? Yeah, sure. I don't like the idea of giving aid and then walking back on a promise, or feeding into a stereotype of America abroad and that we're just in it for the resources. But what I'm trying to tell you is that it's not unique. What I see in this deal is an adept leader on the part of Ukraine's President Zelensky. He sees how Trump maneuvers. He knows Trump pulls the purse strings, and Zelensky has one goal, and that goal is to protect his country. So like it or not, Zelensky has to play Trump's game. He has no choice. And on Trump's end, he can tell his base that he's getting something in exchange for supporting Ukraine, and also getting access to minerals that other countries will try to run after. You might not like this analysis, but you know I tell it like it is.